Hi everyone, and welcome to this reading on the subject of what is destiny. Who are you meant to be in this lifetime, or in general across all time, space and dimensions? Take it however it resonates for you at this time. If it doesn't appear to be the right message for you, do feel free to move on and choose another one, but trust yourself also and use this as an opportunity to develop your intuition, your inner sense of being able to discern what the right messages are for you, what the right direction is for you from your higher self. So it can start here. If you choose the right number and all the messages resonate for you, then that could be a sign of your own personal alignment. So I hope to feed into that and to amplify that for you, and hope to be a pure channel of source to help to guide you even further in your knowing. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on the last video. I really love receiving your comments, not just under the video, which does help, and I really appreciate that because it helps with the algorithms and becoming more visible, but also the people who messaged me, because let's face it, I do know a lot of you personally. It really helps me to know what's working for you, what sort of videos you enjoy. It's helping me to kind of find my own kind of I don't know, place in a way, sort of get a feel for what really works, how my sort of channeling works as well. So it's probably going to be some of these and some channeling and whatever, but for the time being, this is really helping me to get a good sense of where to place all of this energy that's kind of rushing through all the time. So thank you for that. So just as usual, take your time, breathe, take a few breaths, and ask your guides, ask your teachers, ask your higher self whether your card is card number 1, 2, or 3. And I hope you enjoy your messages. Thank you. So if you chose card number 1, your card is Awaken All Your Senses. And the first thing that strikes me as I look at the picture on this card is that the woman who is awakening her senses, she's smelling this beautiful flower. It's like a rose just open in the palm of her hands, and she's really there in the moment, absorbing that fragrance, really being totally immersed in it. And my sense about that is that for this group, you are here to have experiences of a very sensory nature. You are here to really be in the moment, to really experience things, whether that's what you taste, what you smell, what you see, what you observing in others, what you absorb from the natural world. It's really about being very present with not only the 3D reality, but also being able to transmute and transform that into the 5D for others, possibly also leading others on a very sensory journey. So you would be, rather than people who are writing books about this or giving lectures, I mean, that could be a part of it as well, but the focus is really on taking people through, like on a vision quest, or using aromatherapy, or doing massage, or creating incredible live, raw, healthy, vibrant foods, and taking people on juicing retreats and things like that, even doing deep ancestral work. But it's about moving energy through the body, moving people through consciousness, and just that sense of really being present and just being awake is a big part of your mission in this lifetime. Being fully awake to all dimensions, being fully awake in the 3D, and being able to bring all dimensions into the 3D. But if you want to see it from more of a 3D perspective and see it as a very practical thing, then I would say, you would be having experiences, having all kinds of experiences, experiencing the world, traveling, tasting different dishes from different countries, being outdoors, soaking in the sunlight, walking on the earth, all of that sort of thing. But let's see what else we've got here in the cards. So it's time for a change as well, because it's quite possible that you haven't actually been living that way to the extent that you really want to, because you've been caught up in all sorts of other dramas around you, being caught up in the kind of dramas that lead to you not necessarily being boxed in, but there's a sense of observing life, watching life going by, which is the complete opposite of what you were meant to be doing in this lifetime. So again, if this doesn't resonate for you, then it might not be your message, but just go with it. It's possible that you are actually experiencing life through the senses, but not to the extent that you want to. So perhaps you really need to get your hands into the clay a bit more. If you create something, maybe you're not actually doing that at the moment, and you need to have the experience of doing that to move that creative energy. That creative energy is just like the channeling energy. It's all the same. It's all coming from God, from the divine, from source. It needs to be expressed. And if you're even a little bit of aware of it and awake to it, it needs to come through you. It needs to go somewhere. Otherwise, it does feel like fire, and you can feel as if you're going to ignite at some point. So don't get caught up in the drama of the 3D world of what appears to be real, and really give yourself time to focus on what is real within you. And it was really funny when I said what is real. Bear with me, because channeling, it works in so many strange ways that when I said that, I thought about the country. And for some people, it's try not to get caught up in too much of the drama of politics. I'm not saying, it's so hard to say this without sounding insensitive and ridiculous, but because these issues are really important and we need to do things, we need to make our voices heard, we need to protest. But there comes a point where you're not actually taking action to change anything or to solve anything, but you're just allowing it to consume you and to take you to a place that's a really negative vibration for you. And for some people, you're not supposed to go there. You're supposed to remain in your light and to cast that light around you so that you will be able to show others how to find their light. And it doesn't come from being immersed in all of that. So you also, a very important part of your mission is to work in partnership with someone. It could be that you work with an intimate partner, a loving partner, a soulmate, spiritual connection. It could be that you have a business partner who's very aligned with you. It could be both. You also have friends and colleagues around you who are important and who will become more important, who are supposed to be a part of your destiny. You have various soul contracts where certain people are supposed to wake you up and remind you at certain points that you are not living the way that you're supposed to be living, or that you've lost your way, or that you've fallen away from what you really came here to do. But let's see if we can get more into the crux of it, because it's not just about being a sensory being. Let's see if there's a bit more direction there. Discovery. You're supposed to discover something. You're supposed to wake up, remember who you are, remember that you are a spiritual being. Experience yourself as spirit even while you have a physical body, and you're supposed to show others how to do that. So whether you do that through vibrational healing of some kind, whether you do that as a channel and an artist, whether you do that as someone who gives people high vibratory foods. To me, that's plant medicine. Everyone's going off into these, shamanic places and experiencing things with all sorts of very, very strong plant medicines, and no judgment, but try, going raw or doing a juice cleanse for a couple of weeks under, medical supervision if that seems right for you. But plant medicine is all around us. Aromatherapy is plant medicine. The food that we eat every day, that's plant medicine. So your journey through life is really about discovering the most essentially 5D spiritual crystalline essence of yourself and showing others how to do that, but through a lived experience that goes through the body and transcends the body at the same time. I hope this is making sense. I know this channel attracts a lot of healers and artists and some people who are a combination of both. So, this might be your message, or it might be one of the other three, but hopefully there are nuances between all three of them. You're also very sensitive to the moon cycles, very sensitive to water. It could be that you have a lot of water placements in your chart, and that's another thing that's supposed to help you. That sensitivity is supposed to help you to be able to feel your way through the world, to be able to feel your way through right and wrong, what's right and wrong for you, what's, in harmony, what's in alignment with your purpose, with your path. And you're being asked to trust that you have a loved one in spirit who's guiding you and asking you to trust that, to trust the little signs around you as well, that they're close by, and to trust all of those things that you're experiencing from the non-physical environment, whether that is of a crystalline nature, of something from the afterlife, something where you're just experiencing the natural world, whether it's something that you're doing through mediumship, through clairaudience, through making music, through creating art, through whatever it is. You're being asked to just walk through the world as a fifth dimensional being, using your senses to discern what's real. That's it. That's the best way I can describe it. You also are going through unknown territory sometimes. Sometimes it feels very strange. Sometimes you're not quite sure what to trust. Sometimes you feel things in your body that feel unusual. You can feel different energetics happening around you. When you're close to different people, when you're in different environments, you can feel the energy shift between one location and another, between a conversation with one person and another. And this is all a part of your education as well, a part of this growing awareness that's supposed to be happening for you at this time, so that you can become this being who is able to live through sensing of all dimensions while in a physical body. So just keep going, just keep walking forward on that path, and understand that in a sense, it almost doesn't matter how your gift or your work manifests itself, because once you actually allow yourself to become that 5D being, in other words, to embody as much of your light as possible while physical, you won't have to ask that question. It will just be, it will just appear, you'll just be living it, walking it, whether you're communicating with spirit guides and channeling their messages, whether you're playing with the fairies and the elementals, whether you're leading people on retreats, whatever it is, you're just going to know. You're just going to know. So just that is our task, to awaken. Okay, and enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Don't get caught up in getting to a destiny, getting to a particular point. What is my purpose? And therefore, when will I know I've found it? And when will I know I've lived it? Yours is supposed to be a path of exploration. It's supposed to be a weaving path that takes you on, this labyrinthine journey that you couldn't possibly predict, that no one else can make sense of, but it takes you exactly where you need to be with this beautiful gift that you end up giving to the world. So you're being asked to take those steps. Take the very first steps, and then take the next step, and then take the next step. And the overall message is to trust your journey, because your destiny is to show others how to trust their journey. It's a bit like the Celestine prophecy, where you're just going through this series of synchronicities and coincidences and just following them. And eventually they lead to the becoming of absolutely who you are. And it's the same for every being. And a lot of people are just beginning to wake up to that. So it's quite an exciting adventure to have gone through that process, and for it to, now it makes sense. Now I get it. Now I see why I had to go through that, and why I had to go through this, and why I married that person and not this person, and why I lived through that trauma and this trauma, and why I ended up developing this gift but not that gift, and why that opportunity didn't work out but this one did. Now it all makes sense. It's a great adventure, and you're being asked to see it that way. When you can see it that way, and you can just stay open to all the other possible adventures, that's when you'll really be living your purpose, because it's about seeing life as an adventure that doesn't have to reach a conclusion. It's what it is. It just already is. It's happening. You, in other words, are already living your purpose. If these things are happening for you, if you are waking up to this sensory mission, to this way of viewing the world, of experiencing the world, of living through the world day to day, you're living your purpose. Your destiny is also, a big part of your destiny is to move away from any kind of victim mentality, to take a while to stop, to breathe, to let go of the past, to not see any of the things that have happened in the past as mistakes, not to see them as things that have been done to you, but see them as things that have happened for you to lead you to your destiny, to move you along on the right path, and to give you all of the learning that you needed in order to fulfill your path. And every time you grow, every time you take a step forward, you also open up the potential for others to grow. There's an old Ram Dass quote. It's not exactly the right words. It's not. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but it's something like this. The best thing I can do for you is work on myself, and the best thing you can do for me is work on yourself. So just take everything that you've been and everywhere you've been and everything that you are right now, and see that as your path and as your journey, and try to just flood it with light and see it as a thing of beauty, and just trust that it's leading you somewhere that makes absolute sense, and that helps others to make absolute sense of this crazy thing that we call awakening. You're in a place at the moment that you're waiting. It's like, you've got these ideas. There's something you want to get off the ground, but it's like something always comes along and it upsets the apple cart again, and you just don't seem to be able to find your stride or get. And this is not an unusual experience, as healers, as mystics, as whatever we are, readers, we're sometimes tested, and we're sometimes not just tested as it's not a punishment. It's not to see if you're good enough or whether you deserve it or whether you're ready. It's like we are tried, we are taught, we're given experiences for our highest good, for us to be able to evolve and grow and to expose our fundamental darkness, the things, the shadow self, the things that we carry within us, the wounding, the things that we personally do to ourselves to hold ourselves back. Try not to see any of the things that appear to be obstacles as obstacles, because what they actually are the slow and gradual revealing of what you need to work on, so that you can overcome those limitations and step into your path on this lifetime, in this lifetime, because a lot of those things that appear to have just happened, they are our own creations based on the judgments that we've made in previous lifetimes, or things that we're working on. The person that we're trying to become, it's not obviously going to be just straightforward every single time, because we come into this lifetime to learn. So don't see those obstacles and hold-ups as obstacles and hold-ups. See them as a part of the journey, is what I'm trying to say. Because you are actually here to be a wonderful teacher, a wonderful spiritual teacher. If this doesn't apply for you, you are absolutely here to do something that makes sense of a lot of things that people see as being completely imagined or imaginary. So we've got the Hierophant with the Seven of Cups, and it's just what it feels like to me in this particular spread. It just feels like something becoming an established teaching that actually looks like a load of cups in the sky to a lot of people. And I feel that people who belong to this group are here to ground something that looks just like nothing, that it's based on sensing, feeling, touching, tasting, whatever, awakening, basically. So, of course, that is not going to be a straight path. Nothing I've described in this reading for this group would denote that your path is going to be a straightforward one. It's the path of the wandering mystic. Embrace it, surrender to it. That is your destiny. You're already living it. Enjoy it. Peace. Thank you for listening. Comment below, and especially if you chose this one, let me know if that resonated, and how you're going to be using that, this searching, this seeking. Tell me what you do. I'd love to know what you do if this group resonated with you. In fact, for all the groups, I'm sure I'm going to be curious, but this one is really, really interesting. So let me know what you thought of it, how you make sense of it, how it makes sense in your life. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. Okay, if you picked card number 2, your card is "You Are Unique." And I love that these these cards, these groups, they seem to be very much based on qualities that we have, qualities of a mission rather than a specific job title. You are here to express your unique identity, to be brave, to be a little crazy, to just be yourself, because in that being yourself, that's how you're actually going to express your mission. That's how you're going to actually live your truest destiny. So I would not be surprised if this group was definitely the artist's group, because to be a really good artist, you do have to develop a sense of just expressing what your unique self is, your unique vision is. It's just the expression of your soul, your own unique soul. That's whether you're a poet, whether you're a songwriter, whether you're actually a visual artist, painter, someone who draws, someone who a photographer, whatever it is. There are lots of ways of creating art. Whether you're a writer, whether you're a dancer, whether you're an actor, even whatever it is that you do as an art form, you need to be unique, and it needs to be a unique expression of who you are. For some of you in this group, you are musicians because you also have the clairvoyant faculty working in your favor. You are not only creating music, but you're also hearing music and channeling it from other dimensions. And you're being asked to trust that. You're being asked to listen out for that and develop that gift, develop your sensitivity, develop your awareness so that you can use that more. But you're also being asked to listen for other songs on the radio as well. You're being asked to listen. And it's funny because I'm reading the cards, but I feel with this message, I'm actually being asked to listen as well so that my guides can have a bit more input. We're being asked to listen more to songs that sound very melodic and to allow them to influence us, to even go back in time. I'm hearing back in time, back into, classical music, back into jazz, back into the music of the 60s and 70s and the 30s, 40s, going back in time. And of course, there's a lot of great music around now, very, very beautiful music. You have to look a bit further to find that. But I feel as if we're being asked to use our ears and use our hearts to create music that really does sound unique, and that feels as if it's a true expression of who we are rather than sounding like anyone else. What else have we got? And for those of you who don't see yourselves as musicians, artists, this is just whatever it is that you are trying to create from your soul's essence, and you are leaning in, wanting to find the best way to do that, but also wanting to find influences that feel healthy, that feel wholesome. And you're also being asked to remember the past, remember the greatness of the past. Whatever it is you create, remember the greatness of the past. Some of you will actually have guides from other times who are working in the same media or medium as you. So, if you're a painter, you might be influenced by a painter, or painters. If you're a writer, you might be influenced by writers from the past. You might be, there is a vast catalogue of creative artists who have left their physical bodies behind, but they have not left us at all by any means. Where do you think all that creativity is going to go? It has to go somewhere. You could almost just think of anyone that you would like to connect with or to have as an influence within your medium, and you could connect with their essence. So we're just being asked to be aware and to remember that your destiny, if you're in this group, definitely is to contribute something artistic that is very unique and that allows you to express your essence in a unique way. And you're being asked to remember that you can have help from the spirit world with that. Being asked to prioritize, focus on your priorities, try to organize your life so that it works, so that you can create art. You might have to focus on how you organize the nuts and bolts of your life. This might be a time of putting all your ducks in a row so that you can give yourself more time. It may be that you have to reorganize your life. It may be that you have to downsize. Often we think, oh, to be really happy, I need to have more, but sometimes we need less. We need less so that we can focus on the things that matter more. So this is about getting your priorities in order so that you can, because I know that in this day and age, it can be challenging to focus all the time and attention that you need to on your art in order to become as skilled and expressive as you want to be, and to create the amount of art that you want to create any, in fact. So this is really important for you, and to believe in the magic of what you do, to believe that it has a right to be here, to believe that it has a role to play, to believe that it is beautiful, that it touches people's hearts, that it changes lives, even to just go by the seat of your pants and just do it. Just force yourself to do it. If you don't feel the courage or the confidence sometimes, this is about committing to it, believing in it, believe that it's meant to be in the world, that the world needs it. Love flows through you. Love flows through you out into your art, and that love is not yours to keep, to hold back, or to hold on to. That is divine love coming through you. It wants to land on the earth, and sometimes the only way that love can be seeded onto the earth is through the artist. So isn't it interesting that the artists are being so starved out at the moment in this culture? Let's resist that. That's not our truth. That's not our destiny. We have the potential to create something completely different by standing aside from some of those rules, regulations, and ways of living, and making space to create. Wondrous journey, walk in beauty. That's another message. And it's very important for artists to be able to see beautiful things around them, to be able to create lives that feel beautiful. Obviously we have to take care of our day-to-day realities. I keep saying that. And at the same time, I feel as if I'm being called, nudged, persuaded by the angelic realm to ask the artists listening through this medium to focus on the things of beauty that you came to create or to have channel through you. Focus on beauty. The world needs people who are focusing on beauty. We all have a different job to do, and for some of us that is our job. You have the ascended masters working with you, guiding you, working through you, and some of you are on the verge of having a brilliant idea that will help you, that will facilitate your growth as an artist, that will facilitate your journey and your vision, and help you to have the time and to bring more art into the world. For some people, this is really a huge wish that they've buried, that they've put away, kind of locked it away in a box and buried that box in the forest. And you're being asked to go and find that treasure trove and open up that box again. Do it lovingly, do it responsibly. Obviously, we know you have responsibilities to take care of, but you cannot fully be yourself if you don't express yourself creatively as an artist. If you're an artist, it's not what you do, it's who you are. So try not to suppress who you are, because it's obviously a part of your destiny. For some of you, you are looking back on the past times where it didn't work out, times where it failed, times where you've perceived yourself to be a failure, but that is not actually the truth. Those particular times, those particular attempts, those particular initiatives, or those particular pieces of work did not have the impetus behind them, or the marketing, or the determination, or the confidence behind them that they needed to succeed in the world. But you now have every opportunity. You've grown since then. You've matured. You believe in yourself more. You trust yourself more. So this is the perfect time for you to resurrect those dreams, because you are actually a star, and you are actually going to be attracting new supportive connections. I feel for some people in this group, you've had people around you who have not necessarily encouraged or inspired you in the past, who have, not necessarily wanting to be mean. Maybe for some people, they've just wanted you to have, a practical life, to have, some common sense, or I don't know, to just do something that's more grounded. They've just being concerned about your direction. And for other people, maybe they're not happy within themselves and they've wondered, how dare you, whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, that's changing now. Your whole vibration is changing. Your belief in yourself has changed so much that you are kind of now ready to attract the new perspective that you're developing inside. That belief in yourself will attract to you others who believe in you. And there's a great deal of there's a great deal to be thankful for, to be grateful for in the life that you already have. And gratitude is very important. I know this is always being said, and it might not be something that you've tried that's worked or that resonates, but if you have in the past, then you understand what I'm talking about. And even if you don't, even if you've tried in the past and it hasn't worked for you, or you don't think it has, I highly recommend at the beginning of each day writing down 10 things that you're truly grateful for. But something that I really find helps is if you write down not just what you're grateful for, but why you're grateful for it. I'm so grateful that the sun is shining because it brings me to life. It feels so good. It feels so energizing, and it's so nice to be warm, because then that increases your sense of living in that higher, happier vibration. It's not just about going robotically through a list of things I think I should be grateful for. It's about putting yourself in that vibration, in that experience of it. I feel some of you really need to be more grateful for your gifts, for your talents. You've kind of taken them for granted to some extent. Obviously, that's not going to apply to everyone, but it feels as if it's time to wake up. It's time to be a beacon for others. It's time to be a leader, to step into your leadership position. And being a leader doesn't necessarily mean you're standing there with a burning torch, trying to incite people to go running through the streets and claim the castle. Sometimes you lead simply by showing up as you are, being this great, creator, letting the world see that, art, the pen is mightier than the sword, as they say. That art has a very powerful place in changing hearts and minds, in uplifting us, in healing the world, healing the planet. And by doing that, by taking up that space, just by being that light, because when you're creating, if you're creating and you're channeling that creation from higher dimensions, what you're actually doing is you are seeding more light. And when you're seeding more light and you are living more in your light, that is so contagious. We teach an awful lot more by example, by living this, by creating the thing that we create, than just by having it as a theory, for example, because we're always being healed by a vibration. It's not what someone says. Most times, even those exceptional books that change lives, quite often they're mostly channeled anyway, and they kind of come through on a frequency. They're encoded with light. So get into your light, shine your light, inspire yourself with gratitude, light yourself up with your own creations, and be a leader for others, a leader and an inspirer. You might see that this is a very difficult path. You might believe this is something that is like a hill to climb, or something to overcome, or how am I ever going to get people to see this, or how is this going to happen, or how is that going to happen? You're being told two things. First of all, ask for help. Ask for help from your guides and angels. Trust. Remember that we're all connected, so you can ask for help from many, many sources. You can ask for help from other, physical people. Ask for help, ask for advice. Connect with other people who have already done what you hope to do, who are already doing it. It's time for us to network, to collect, to come together collectively and decide what we want, and that we want to help and inspire each other and move each other forward. No more of this competition, no more of that. We're all teachers of light. We're all artists of light. We need to help each other. We need to help each other to move forward, because it's what the world needs. The other thing you're being asked to do is to live in the moment of your creations, and not to see it so much as an end point that you're trying to get to. Remember, the whole beauty, the beauty of art itself is in the creating. It's in the creating rather than the creation. Sometimes when the creation is finished, we're ready to create the next thing. I write a song, I love it for a whole day, and then I want to write the next song, and then the next one, and the next one. So it's, as long as you're creating, you're already living that destiny, and the rest is just the icing on top. Your friends and family and your guides are going to be very important to you. You might have to have some conversations with them, because they can either be a help or a hindrance. And it might be that you need to say to them, this is really important to me. I just need you to see that. I just need you to see me. For some, you'll get help, you'll get support. Definitely you will, from your guides, from your teachers, from your angels, if you ask for it. But from friends and family, there may be some people that you need to say, look, I'm stepping back from this because I need this extra time and energy to create. That might be, in a partnership. It could be anyone. Just do that lovingly, and they will still be there when you come out, come out of your studio or whatever it is, your writing enclave, or, your artist studio, your photography studio. And because it's really important that when you recognize and acknowledge that this is something that's important to you, even if it's just important to you and you don't see how it can benefit the world just yet, it's important to have people around you who understand that. I feel for some people in this group, you are actually in families that are very helpful and supportive, but it's you who fails in confidence. And for others, of course, it's the opposite, that you see them as a big hindrance, but it's up to you to take responsibility and to not hide behind that, and follow the path of your soul, and just ride forward with the arrogance of someone who really, really knows that what they have is worth offering to the world, and that the world absolutely needs it at this time. In fact, that's not arrogance. I just said it because I was looking at the Chariot, but the Chariot isn't really arrogant. It just knows. It's just about certainty. If you get on a bus, you're not going to call the bus arrogant. The bus driver knows where you want to go, and it will take you there. He will take you there. She will take you there. It's not a question of, there's no judgment to be had. You just know where you're going. You know what you're doing and what you came here for. Follow the soul, the path of your soul. That's it, group number 2. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Please comment below and let me know what you're creating, if this resonated with you, and if you are creating something, and if this helped you as well. I would love to know. I want to know what everyone's doing. I want to know, what do you like about the messages? And you don't have to share any personal details, but if you are an artist, I'm always curious about artists anyway. All right, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care. Bye. Right, hi, group number 3. Your card, you actually had 2 cards fall out. So you've got Enter the Temple of Your Truth and Protect What You Love. So I feel with you, actually, this group, you are definitely a group that's here to protect people who need watching over, who need someone to take care of them, who need someone to look out for them, to be aware of what's happening on their behalf. So also, this is definitely about speaking up on behalf of each other, of others, understanding the truth of what's happening in the world. It could be that you're someone who actually stands up for truth and to change things in a particular way, in a very practical way, on a very practical level. It could be that you are some kind of advocate. It could also be that you are here to do a lot of self-healing, that you've had to do a lot of work on yourself, but in doing that, that could be the reason that you're very protective of others. You've experienced a lot of conflict. It could be that you've had a lot of very dark thoughts yourself, a lot of thoughts, a lot of negativity, a lot of experiences that have challenged you, that have changed you, transformed you as a person. having come through all of this, you've come through with a new determination that others shouldn't experience the same thing, that you should be able to protect others and help them to move through conflict and difficulty and trauma as well. As I look at these cards, it all looks like trauma. It looks like healing trauma, deep trauma. And you've also got counselor. So it feels as if for you, this is a really important time of renewal. This is a time when you've done a lot of the work. You've had a big life review. You've had to look at everything that you've been through and make something completely new of it. Learning to spread your wings, learning to leave the past behind, learning to really open up and become that new person. Learning up to go beyond everything that you've experienced, to transmute it into something, into healing for others. Turning poison into medicine, if you like. This is what the Buddhists say, changing it so that some good will come of it. So you've also got rainbow blessings, a lot of blessings coming into your life. And again, another part of your destiny is to really trust that you deserve those blessings, to trust that that can be, can be okay for you. I feel as if some of you have had a very difficult time with relationships, with some kind of addiction, perhaps some kind of addictive relationship patterns as well, not believing in yourself, low self-esteem, conversations that aren't had, people that are not necessarily upfront and honest, people who are manipulative, doing things behind the scenes that you don't understand, not being completely clear with you about their intentions, or gaslighting you and making you doubt yourself even further. And it feels as if all of these things have really brought you to a place of really deep self-analysis, if you like, and self-awareness. You could still be in the middle of that process, and you're beginning now to see where you need to perhaps expand your horizons, take a different view of things in the future going forward, so that this impulse that you have to protect others, you can really start to apply it to yourself, really embrace that for yourself, to protect the truth of who you now know yourself to be going forward, to protect the truth of what you now really know about how you can be in relationships, about who you can be in the world. So if you've come through all of that, it's a great, it really sets you up to be a really good teacher, to help others to understand that as well for themselves, and so that they can go forward and improve their own lives. You're not meant to do the same work that everyone else is doing. We're all, given the opportunity to use our life experience as healing for others, basically, especially if we've had a challenging time. So you're coming into a place now where not only are you being asked to look after yourself, to cherish yourself, to protect the sensitive parts of you, your sensitive nature, you're also being asked to move into a more playful time. And I know this doesn't sound like, oh, my great destiny, this great thing, this great calling, but coming from, if you chose this group and this resonates with you, coming from where you started, to have the achievement where you can actually begin to love yourself, view yourself kindly and compassionately, and feel as if you could actually have a healthy relationship, that is actually a great achievement. So that's not necessarily the whole of your destiny. Perhaps that's just your destiny at this time. But you're also being asked not to underestimate that, because in achieving that, you've achieved a great deal. You've also achieved a great deal with family. So this group, you've really been doing the work in this lifetime. And it feels as if a lot of your destiny is tied up with doing the work for yourself, doing the work for your family, doing the work in partnership, just doing the work. But that actually is what makes incredible healers. That is what does make incredible mystics. And I wonder what, people who can really transform lives at a very deep level, change minds, change hearts. And I wonder what you think, if I say to you, you've got some news coming, what's the first thing that you think? Do you immediately think that that's going to be good news, or are you still worried that there's something coming that you're not necessarily going to like? Because I feel that you have still some programming to overcome there, where you're still expecting things to be a bit grim. You're being asked to rise above the dark times. You're being asked to rise above what's happened in the past and to awaken the magic of your inner being, awaken your ability to make sense of all of this now and turn it into something beautiful. You have this actually is a group that I know it's taken us a while to get there. This group is also, now I know I said some groups, some of the groups, the people who watch are artists, and some of them are healers, and some are both. I feel this group is both. So this is a group of people who have come through a lot of traumas, a lot of difficulties, who have become extraordinary healers through that, whether you're doing that consciously or just by working on yourself. But you also still have a soul purpose within you of creating something beautiful out of this. And sometimes, the best artists in the world have been into the darkest places, and they've learned how to transform their pain into art. So it feels as if that's kind of the magic of this group. What's actually being asked of you is that you may feel as if you spent a whole lifetime just working on yourself, transforming your stuff and your family stuff and the past, and going through chaotic relationships, and you've come to this place now where you could actually do something with all of this, where you feel like you've done a certain amount of healing and a certain amount of work, and you're being asked to just keep it very simple. Keep it very simple and think in terms of what beautiful things you can create and how you can get back in touch with your creative nature. Because getting back in touch with your creative nature when you've come through all of this will actually give you the gift of something very beautiful artistically. Let's do some more cards for this group, because this is it's not a picnic, is it, this reading? Hopefully it's giving you something it's giving you something inspiring, but I just want to get a bit more detail of what's been happening to group 3. What's happened and where are they now? Oh, that one wanted to fly out. Okay, a time of potential celebration and magic. That's wonderful. Excellent, and a really nice new start emotionally. So it looks as if you really have turned the corner. You've been through a lot, but you really are. It's like you get to this point where you think, oh, can it really be that things are going to be good now? And the cards are saying, yes, it's actually as good as it's starting to look. And I feel as if for some of you, there's just little seeds, little sparks of possibility that it's getting better, but you still don't quite see the whole picture of it being great just yet. But you're being asked to trust that it doesn't have to stay, as traumatic and dramatic as it has been forever, that happiness and success are coming. The opportunity for happiness and success are here for you right now. So a big part of your destiny is actually to believe that you can come through everything that you have done and you can live a happy and successful life. So in a way, there's another element to this. It's like, yes, you're a healer. Yes, you're an artist, but your form of art could be coaching. You could be someone who says, at some point stands up and gives talks and says to people, I started here in life and I went through this and I went through that. And here I am today experiencing this whole other life. I've healed my whole timeline regarding relationships, or I've healed my whole family karma, drama. I've healed all of this and I've come to this beautiful place of loving relationships, harmonious family relationships, and success in my career. You might not be there, but this is a part of your destiny. So this group, I want you to understand that even though it looks as if it's not the most exciting reading, it certainly is one that has a potential for a lot of good things in the future. And also right now at this moment. The thing is, whatever life throws at you, you are much more resilient now anyway. And it's important for you to remember that the things that have happened to you in your life, they're not your fault. They're not things that you caused to happen or that you deserved to have happen. We often confuse karma, as see it as a punishment, but these are life lessons. A lot of these are things that you very bravely took on in order to show others that you can overcome things, that you can, be given not the best start at things or not the best experiences, and you can come through all of that. And you now have a lot more courage now. You have the courage now to be yourself. You have the courage now to be free, to set out on your own path. You've learned how to say no to a lot of people that you needed to say no to. You've learned how to put a lot of boundaries in place that you weren't able to do before. You actually have, in a lot of ways, a far better quality of life than you ever thought you would have. And you're being asked to just connect with the song that's deep in your soul that needs to be expressed. Whatever it is, wherever it's hiding, if it's a dream that you buried as a child, if it's something that you thought you could do and then you suddenly thought you couldn't do, if it's something that you started out with and then you were dissuaded from doing it, or you were told that it wasn't realistic or you weren't very good at it, whatever it is, just remember never to give up on yourself. Because if you've come as far as you have, what can't you do? Don't ever give up on yourself, and don't give up on your song. And, don't conform. Don't conform to the expectations of others. You've got several cards here that have musical instruments in them. You've got a card here with a harp. You've got a card here with a smaller harp. You've got so many things, so many messages here saying, believe in your creative energies, release your creative energies, believe in your creativity, listen to the song of your soul. So, although this comes from a much deeper place of being an artist, that's often where the best art is. This message started out somewhere completely different, just like your life, and it's ended up in this artistic place, whereas it didn't necessarily start that way, looking like a typical artist path, but in some ways it's going to be one of the nicest ways for you to make sense of the depths that you've learned to connect with, the depths of the soul, the depths of your own creative energies and potential, the depths of sensitivity that you've acquired in this lifetime. So let's just see what else. Is there anything else that group 3 needs to know about their destiny and what they came to offer? What they came to offer and who they are trying to be in this lifetime. Who are you meant to be in this lifetime? Who is group 3 meant to be in this lifetime? Letting go. Yeah. Milestones. Yeah, you are and honoring path. You are supposed to know how to let go of the past. You are supposed to celebrate milestones. That's just perfect. Celebrate every small victory that happens. Really see it for what it is. Take time to notice it. Don't dismiss it as nothing, and see yourself as deserving, and step into the path that allows you to honor yourself, honor your gifts and your path and your soul in this lifetime without judgment, without asking whether you deserve it or not, because obviously you do. We all deserve to be totally creative, expressed and abundant and loved and abundantly loved and enjoy and all of those things. So this is your time now. This is your time to do that now, to celebrate each milestone, to celebrate who you are and how far you've come, and to move into this whole other period where you not only see yourself as deserving of good things, but you open your arms up and you say, yes, universe, I willingly accept them, bring them to me. Thank you very much. And that is it. That is your destiny. Your destiny is to become the person who has elevated through all of those levels to become fully deserving, accepting of great things, and to be able to shine at that level and show others how to do the same, or simply to live it and be an example of it. Okay, number 3. I hope that helped. And I would love to know. Wow, I mean, that's a very deep one. You can comment if you want to, if it works for you, if you want to share anything at all. If not, just say hi. But thank you very much for listening, and take care. Bye.